Yeah, this one for the guys just like me that ain't running to the crowd.
No.
It's in your blood and in your veins. You ain't running to them clowns.
No.
You was never in their circle. You was left standing around and you weren't never trying to hurt them, but they left you when it counted. Even your girl was getting departed because she was used to them people. And while they was in the party, you weren't amused by them people.
No.
Nobody ain't even told to you. You just had a couple of fake friends and that just pushed you away until you made a couple of your own trends, but that pain just ate you up, but did it really beat you inside? Yeah, the pain gon' make you up. They can't see it cause they blind. They really think you different. Tell them people I'm one of a kind, very rare species. So all they try to do is analyze me. They wanna jeopardize me. Don't try to memorize me. Man, y'all don't terrify me. Don't need to verify me. You not gonna recognize me. I'm very certified G. God got me specialized G. I don't need to fit in, bro. I'm very satisfied G. Huh? I'm alone, I'm laid back, a very rare species. Why I'm like this, I don't know, but I don't need the cheat sheet. God created me how he wanted, I ask no questions. Don't need you around, cause that always costs one too many lessons. They left me out of the topics because I wasn't them. I wasn't popping, I'm not a tree, I was the stem. But now they rocking, I guess our space got overwhelmed. You're not invited, you're not like us, we not like them. It's amazing how they treat you when you something special.
Yeah.
Real recognized, real, and you ain't intellectual.
No.
We been building this paint up, call that architectural. And ain't no secrets to it, but we keep it confidential.
Hey guys, can y'all hear me? I hope you can. I am at the church here this evening, and for our Wednesday night Bible study, I was going to do something a little different. On the topic of race relations. We all know what's going on in our society and those things. And if you can hear us, just make sure you let us know. Thank you for joining us. Tonight I'm starting a new Wednesday night series on race relations, and I do have Maliq Smith with me. His dad, Brother Donald Smith, is my administrative pastor and also my chairman of the deacons. And as God began to lay this message series on my heart, I thought that I would invite different people from our church to come join me. And so tonight, for the first night, I do have with me Brother Maliq Smith. Maliq, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good to see you. Just to let you guys know what we're doing, I did not tell him to wear his Superman shirt. This is just how we think. He showed up for the night and he had on the same exact shirt that I have on, and I thought that was pretty awesome, pretty incredible. But I want us to just talk about some things in light of what's going on in our world, what's going on in our society. Some of you may have heard the news that there was, early this morning, there was a shooting at La Tierra Apartments. There was a shooting at the Pinecrest, the mobile home park there on Jefferson Page, and our church is sandwiched right in between those two entities, those two shootings, and it just, it makes me aware that we have work to do, that we have stuff that we need to see accomplished. We've been pushing an initiative called Stop the Violence, and actually the beginning of this video, if you caught the front of that, the picture of drawing, the name of Jesus, that was actually Maliq. That was his song. That was his music. He's a Christian rapper, and he does his thing here at the church a lot, and I'm so proud to have him join me. I've known Maliq for a long time, for maybe not 10 years, but I first met Maliq when I was coaching a spar basketball team, and Maliq came to be on my team, and he really didn't know anything about basketball other than he wanted to play. And I used to tell people all the time that he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn with the basketball, but now my brother is unstoppable. And I think if you'll see this clip, you can see with me, he hit the game-winning shot in one of their district games. Maliq, kind of tell us about this shot.
like free throws. So, but I mean, like with me, I always feel like you can't worry about the last shot, and I mean I just have faith in myself. I always have faith in everything that I do. So I just said that God got my back. I'm gonna take this shot if it come to my side, and then it came to my side, so I took it. I mean, like everything is in your head, so
There you go. Yeah, the reason I wanted you guys to see that clip is I know that's just one shot out of many. That was when he was a senior at Southwood. He's now enrolled at Bipsy. He's actually about to graduate, but he'll be playing basketball for Bossier Parish Community College. And like I said, he's just unstoppable on the basketball court. So not only is Maliq a very talented musician, he's a Christian rapper. He writes, produces his own music and such. And you heard that at the beginning of this video. For those of you that were not able to join us, at first, when we get done, you want to make sure you go back and listen to that, because I wanted to have Maliq join me. Simply, there was a time not too long ago where Maliq and I were extremely close. We did a lot of stuff together. I was always going to basketball games, and I would call him to come join me. And this is before he got his driver's license, and we know what happens when our young folks get their driver's license, where they go. But I thank his mom and dad for loaning him to me for those years. We had a great time loving on each other, getting to know each other, and just hanging out with each other. And once again, the shirt thing was not planned. I promise you. I opened the door as he was coming in. I'm like, dude, man, what's up? And he's like, hey, that's how it is. When you're good like this, you don't make no apologies. So I invited Maliq to join me this evening to discuss a topic, race relations. And let me just introduce this, because people that know me know that I don't see color. And it's hard for me to introduce Maliq as a young black man, but in reality, that's what he is. He's 20 years old. He is a black male growing up in society that is just crazy. There are some things, and what the world is saying is, where are the good examples from our young black brothers? And let me tell you something. My former associate pastor, Quayshawn Nicholson, went with me to Mexico. I see that Quay's watching, and in Mexico, some of the places that we went, the very first black person that any of these kids at this orphanage had ever met was Pastor Quay. And let me tell you something. If you want to meet somebody for the very first time of that particular race, Quayshawn was incredible. And that's how I feel about Maliq. If you want to see that there is hope, there is some things that's happening positive in our society coming from our young black men, then look to Maliq. Maliq is a great example. He's not perfect like all of us are. All of us have made mistakes. All of us have done some things in the past. And recently, Maliq was a part of something that happened, and we're really not going to get into the details of that, but I want to just invite him to share his heart, because something happened. He had some friends that got at each other, and a gun fell out of one of the guy's pockets, and it's really been disturbing to Maliq, because he understands what could have happened and all that, and he's praying for all of those involved and different things like that. So I just kind of want to get Maliq to express his heart with us.
I mean, how I really feel about that is, I mean, violence is really never the number one answer to anything. Like, to any situation, I don't feel like violence could be the answer to it. I mean, God always said, leave the revenge part up to him. You continue to live your life. Like, you can't live with no grudges on anybody. Like, and so for that to happen, it was basically just two close brothers, that it was miscommunication between them, and the other one didn't want to talk or anything, and it just like, violence is just never the answer. It took place in having get violent, but violence is never the answer first. Uh, and I mean, I'm hurt by that. You know, it was disrespecting, you know, things, God, you know, all of that. But at the end of the day, though, violence is, you know, never the answer first.
Yeah,
So,
because I heard, you know, Pastor Quaid, he normally comes on Thursday nights, but he was on tonight because he mentioned he's going to an event tomorrow night. I believe it may be the same event that I'm going to. We're a part of a group called Men of Prayer in Stonewall. So if any of you are available, 6 p.m. tomorrow night at Stonewall Community Center, right off Stonewall Frierson Road, we have the Men of Prayer, and we'll be there tomorrow evening. And Quay was talking about forgiveness, letting go of our past, and letting people off the hook for some of the mistakes that they've made in their past. And I wanted to share this because many people don't know this. I used to be involved in drugs. I used to, for lack of better words, was a drug dealer. And been on numerous occasions where guns were pulled and tensions were insane, and it was crazy. So I don't want Maliq to feel like he is on an island. I've been where he is. I've seen that happen, and I'm so thankful that God intervened in this situation because it could have turned out totally different. But we also don't want to keep painting people in a negative light, because there is forgiveness, there is restoration, there is a place where God can use every situation for good. The Bible says in Romans 8:28, for we know that all things work together for good to them that love God and are called according to his purpose. And like Maliq said, you know, there was a lack of communication. And I like to say, as my bride has already typed in here, effective communication. Because you can communicate all day long, but until you have effective communication, that is, you know, brother to brother or whatever it is, and you get on the same page and you come to an understanding, then our world is not going to change. So we want to be a part of the solution. We want to be a part of effectively communicating things. And this just recently happened after I had been led to invite Maliq to come join me, because whenever I have some friends on Facebook that I use the word friends kind of carefully. Because, listen, guys, if you have to tell people you're not a racist all the time, I preach this on Sundays. I say it from the pulpit. If you have to tell somebody that you're not something, trying to convince them that you're not, you might want to check and see if you really are. And I have some people that today I saw some things on social media that really disturbed me, that, you know, where are our young people? What are they doing? They're, you know, it's like nobody has a voice for God. And here you have a 20-year-old fine young man that I love Maliq like a son. I would do anything in the world for him. He knows that. His family is very special to me, and we are special to he and his family. And it's just an interaction that our world needs to understand, that sometimes I have a hard time expressing race relations, simply because in my life there is no hate. There is no separation from what you see as a white man to a black man. I don't see Maliq as a black man. I see him as my brother. I see him as my son, as his pastor. I know he has a father, but his dad has taken Maliq and his other brother Tariq, and they've actually bought me in the past, you know, Father's Day cards and stuff like that. That really means the world to me, because Brother Donald and I, he's my best friend in the world, and this is his son, and he has no problem sharing that love with me. So when I tell you I love Maliq and I'll do anything in the world for him, he knows that. I don't have to say that. He knows that. But on the concept of race relations, I wanted to get a different perspective. You know, I wanted to get a 20-year-old's perspective that is out in the world enough, and he's been a part of some things that's been disturbing to him, as we just mentioned. But I kind of just want Maliq to just share from his perspective what he sees going on in the world.
First off, I want to hit on my point of the fact that people look at us differently. Like he said, I don't see no color or anything. I see my brother in Christ, you know. Um, but my main thing is what I go by in life is just being a misfit. Because if you're a Christian, you're a misfit by default, you know. Because Jesus was one. That's why he was crucified. Um, and my thing is, a misfit is just not gonna be like everybody else. I feel like a misfit is gonna be more on the right path. I guess I can say that, like the right path. Um, a misfit is, to me, is somebody that's just gonna stand up and let everybody see that it's one. It's only one way. Like it's only one way, one light, one truth. Like there's no, like I said, there's no need for the violence. Is no need for none of that. I think we need more people to stand up and just like me and be like that. I want to say that for me, it was kind of hard. It was kind of hard in the beginning trying to find a way for people, not just my people of younger age, but like other people of different skin color, to see me as not perfect, but I'm just like you on the other end. Like no matter our skin color, no matter our past, no matter what's going on, I wanted people to see me as just like them. I feel like a misfit is going to make mistakes. Yes, we all are going to make mistakes, but at the same time, like nobody was Jesus. Nobody is Jesus. Everybody has to. Everybody has their path that they have to walk, and God even already said we all have sinned. But we all can come together and join one another and establish something greater than just, you know, this racial war that's going on, or like even the crimes that's going on, whether it be black on black, white on white, black on white, like whatever, the police, whatever. Like I feel like we all are able to come as one and just unite, for the sake of Christianity, for the sake of God, you know.
I like the word misfit, and for those of you, again, if you didn't catch the first of this video, and I'm praying Facebook will not mute it, because we do have rights to this music, so prayerfully you'll be able to hear it. If not, I'll post a little bit more so you can hear that's his latest song, Misfit, and it really fits, because I when I hear him talk about being a misfit, at his age, at 20 years old, I was not in the church. I was saved when I was 7, got into high school, started doing things I shouldn't have, got out of high school, was partying, was in the world and everything. So when I think about Maliq, you know, his life, he's trying his best to honor God in everything that he does. Does he make mistakes? Absolutely. We all make mistakes. But that word misfit, to me, is somebody that if you were to look at groups of people, and the people that go against the grain of the world, that would be the label misfit, because they're going against the grain of the world because they're in tune with the Word of God, and they're trying their best to live their life to honor God first. I mean, regardless of what you think about me or whatever, I don't care, because I serve an audience of one, and I think that's what Maliq was talking about, because there's just one that we have to please. You may not be pleased with me, you may not be pleased with Maliq, or you may not be pleased with this, that, or the other, but is God pleased with you? That's my take on that. So hearing Maliq talk, that there is hope. We do have a future. We do have, and I'm just going to say this right here and now. I can't wait for the day for Maliq to get up and preach at church. I've always felt that. I shared that with him years ago. He and his dad, or his dad and I have spoke about that, Brother Donald, and I'm not going to say I'm prophesying or whatever, But I just want to speak that into existence because I know my brother's been out in the world and he's seen the world and he don't want nothing of the world and he's trying to keep himself to be as pure as he can for the Lord and the things of God. So when I hear him talk about or rap about the song Misfit, man, it makes sense to me because I go against the grain. And a lot of you that are watching with us, you guys go against the grain. So it's just, it's very important that we understand that God has a place for all of us. So when it comes to race relations, Maliq has a different perspective than a lot of us do because it for a lot of the rioting and a lot of the things going on, it's his generation that he sees out there doing those kind of things. So I kind of want him to express just with us what he thinks about the current situation of where our country is at. Not in a political. We don't want to get into that. We want to keep everything biblical. So what he sees the world where it's at and what we can do to help make a difference.
I feel like first and foremost, racism is taught. You know, you're taught to hate or to dislike something, somebody's color or whatever about them that is taught, and I understand, but I feel as though that, you know, we all have a mind of our own at the end of the day. I feel like we shouldn't be led into thinking that way or to be feeling as though because his skin color is this that he has more rights or he may not have as more rights as me. You know, I feel like it shouldn't be scary for us to go out and be afraid of the police or or see this or that and feel as though we're finna be attacked or jumped on because of color or size, shape, whatever it may be. Like I said, that all of that is taught. And what I'm trying to bring to the table is just unity. Like I said, I feel as though people feel that they have to bring unity by violence, which violence, like I said, is never the answer. I feel like most of the riots or the rallies that we see or things that we may see on the web, that's brought up by violence, such as in the rallies. Like I said, that's not cause for. Um, I feel like everybody views the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear about that is just violence. Like this could happen, that could happen, or it may have happened, or whatever. You know, it's multiple videos online talking or showing violence in rallies. But I feel as though even as a black male, for my black society, that it shouldn't be violence. I feel like we shouldn't look at this and try to turn the violence to try to demolish a situation. That's only going to make it worse. Right. And I also feel as though for the white society, for whoever out there is of racism or anything, you got to go back. You know, you were taught that. Unteach yourself that and relive what's right. Because I promise you, nobody is hating you. Nobody that's black in public is just looking at you and just hating you just because of your skin color. I promise you. Like, my thing is, like I said, you do not unite off of violence. You unite off of coming together and just rejoicing together, like getting together and just coming on one agreement that we are all just human. We all been brought from the same God.
Yeah.
Like, and that's my whole take on it. That's how I look at everything now. It really goes. It really don't go any deeper than that to me. I feel like that's the grain and that's what we have to stick to. Like that's just as bold as it gets. You know, for my people. For it's not even my people to me, really. is just for all people. You know, I feel as though we have to make a change not through violence, but by uniting through rejoicing together, coming together, praising together, worshiping together. Like, we can do it. It has been done before.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah, violence, man. Violence is never the answer. It's I love all here, watching and hearing everything from Dr. Martin Luther King, and his take was, violence is never the answer. We know that there's a hate problem. I don't even say that we have a racism problem. We just have a hate problem, and not really just a hate problem. We have a sin problem, and until people get right with God, which I prayed, everybody is a whosoever. God came to save. Jesus died for every whosoever. I have friends of every color, from the every nation, every creed. I mean, you name it. And when we get together, when we talk, and we have that effective communication, we stay on the same page. But what I love about Maliq is he doesn't. It's kind of like me. What you see is what you get. I'm not going to be different. I'm not going to act different in this group than I would in this group. I'm not going to be different. I have a friend of mine, Guyland Youngblood, who had a Juneteenth celebration at his house, and I went over there, and one of my other friends there said, "Joey, do you know that you're the only white somebody at this event?" We were eating in his backyard, and I looked around, and I'm like, I didn't know that. I mean, and then my brother said, that's exactly why I mentioned that, because if everybody could see how we interact with each other, I didn't think twice about going to a black neighborhood, hanging out with my black friend, and being the only white cat in the room. I mean, that didn't bother me at all. I'm at home. Wherever I'm at, I'm going to be me, and I promise you I'm going to have a good time, and I'm going to be at home. But until we all can get on the same page, and we all can get taken the sin part out of the equation, then we'll start making some headway. But what we have to understand is we do have hope. We do have young people. Here to my right is a 20-year-old black male that can be a great role model for people. Is he perfect? No. Hear me, but I promise you, when God begins to elevate the platform that he's going to give to Maliq, because his heart belongs to God, when God begins to elevate him, he's not going to have no problems with humility. He's going to be the same humble guy. As a matter of fact, when we were setting this up, I told him, I said, okay, Maliq, you're going to have to talk louder, because we're going to start talking about Jesus, and you start talking about Jesus, man, you got to speak with authority. So I have my brother with me that is the future. And I'm telling you, if he's the future, I look forward to the future. I'm not going to continue to listen to all the jargon that we see on the news, on TV, on social media, because all that negativity that they're spewing cannot silence the positivity that comes from folks like Maliq. So when he uses the term misfit, it's going against the grain, because most young men his age are sleeping with every woman on the face of the planet. They may already have one or two or three kids or whatever, or they're resorting to different things and he is staying the path. He's about to be a college graduate. I mean, the guy can light up a basketball court. I mean, I'm telling you, when he gets going, and the thing about him, he's always been humble, and I've always wanted to just punch him in the mouth when we were playing basketball. Say, man, get up in their face and just, all that. So that's coming, but I say that to say this. He's the same regardless of his environment. And I think that's the problem, that so many people change in their environment.
Yeah. Speaking on the misfit factor, like he said, misfit can mean a lot of different things, and I want to add on how, like I said, you in society, you can say that this person is black, you can say this person is white, but we're going to be misfits. Like me and him, to me, we are misfits. On top of this, I want to say that I do have different colored friends, and I do not act different at all with them. You know, it's the same. It's the same thing that I do have my same color friends or whatever. I feel like with me also being a misfit, I wanted to try to. I wanted my generation to see that I'm just like them, like, cause my music and everything is aiming it really almost exactly towards just my generation, my 13 the you know my young people, 13, 20 year olds, 25 year olds, whoever, and I wanted to say like I feel like a lot of people um misjudge maybe when they see maybe because of the tattoos or anything that I may have, but I wanted y'all to know that I got that for a reason, and the reason is like I said, it was just a simple fact that I wanted people to see that you're not just on this island by yourself. I'm gonna make this decision we're sacrificing for my people so they'll see that we all in this together. Like it's all one. It's
Yeah.
like I said, it's one guy. Like we all have one love, bro. And I don't know how else to explain this, but like that's the reason why. Like if you hanging out with me in public, I'm gonna be the same in public and private, wherever, because that's just me. Like I want you to feel as though that you could be as comfortable with me than you can be with your other friends or whoever out in the street somewhere. Like I'm there, like 100% there, and like I'm not finna I don't judge anybody, whether no matter what color, no matter what you got on, no matter you got a police uniform, and like I don't judge. I don't feel like there's a need to judge. I don't feel like for my people that there's a need to judge now. Like, and I'm talking, when I say my people, I'm talking about everybody. Everybody in the Christianity land, and whether you're white, whether you're black. Like, I don't feel that there is a need to judge anybody. And then specifically, if you want to say for the black people as well, like I don't feel like you guys coming from me that you guys should look at anybody any differently. Like I said, we all are the same. We all come from the same God. Violence is never the answer. If we want to come together, we got to come together and rejoice. And like I said, like we all have to come together peacefully, not violently. There's no need to be showing up downtown with any guns and this and that for what? That's only gonna make more problems, as you see that's what's been happening on the news with the whoever, with the police, with the lynching. Like, come on, like we gotta think more. We gotta think more. Like I said, like we have to unite in a different way other than violence, and I hope that the people out there that's listening, coming from me, don't look at my skin color, just look at my age. Look at how much knowledge that I have, just giving this out to you. I hope this changes a lot of people's lives, because I don't feel like there's no need for violence. I feel like we should unite, no matter what. Like that's just me. Like,
Yeah, when you say the knowledge that you have, that's because you're educated. That you're educated from the collegiate standpoint, but even more so educated in the word. You have a background in the church. Your mom and dad are together. You come from a great home environment, and that, to me, that makes a huge difference. That makes a huge difference when you have a father that is actively involved in their children's lives. This is because that's the same thing that's been reciprocated to Maliq was in my home growing up, was in my home with my kids growing up. It's the same thing, and God has really blessed us with an understanding that goes beyond our years. And when we talk about that, it comes from a standpoint not of arrogance, but of confidence. I mean, I'm confident in who I am because of whose I am. And that's what Maliq is talking about. He's confident in what he is. He knows I don't like the tattoos. I told him, the first time I saw him, it's a good thing you didn't need my permission. I mean, you're a grown man. You're going to make those decisions, but I understand that because I use that same terminology when I first got my ear pierced. And I told my mom and dad, I said, well, the God's going to use this for ministry, and I'm going to be able to have conversations with people and yada, yada, yada. And I was lying through my teeth because I didn't do it for ministry. But I will tell you this, God used that for his good. And even though I don't wear my earring now, every now and again I'll put one in just to trip out my wife and just at the house. I don't go around because I try to stay above reproach. But that's just me. I put it in. I'll find her a big hoop and I'll just walk around till she notices it and she'll give me that dirty look, and I know that's from the Lord, so I better take it out. But I get what he's saying because it's not that he wants to fit in or he wants to look like everybody else, but when he's in that environment being himself, those things can give him a leeway into a conversation about the gospel.
Exactly,
and I'm telling you that's what we need to see in our society. Not that we're trying to fit in, because I know Maliq, and he prides himself on being a misfit. I pride myself on being a misfit. I mean, if you don't believe me, come to church on Sunday mornings. You may see a pastor that I don't wear suits. I mean, if I wear a suit, people want to know what funeral I'm preaching after church. And I'm not saying that we dress down or whatever, but the clothes don't make the man. The man makes the man. And when you have Jesus Christ living inside of you, Jesus Christ makes this man. He makes that man. And if the world labels us as misfits, that's fine. We know what happens at the end of our life. We know when we take our last breath here on this earth, we know where we're going to spend eternity. And I want to draw your attention to something. This is a logo that Maliq has made for the church, and it's not of the best quality, but I just kind of want to draw your attention to the cross in the middle. And if you can see that cross in the middle, it's hands, and it's all different color hands. It's all different races. It's all different people, but they're bringing it in to form a cross. And I think that if people would see that, and it's also no coincidence, I don't believe in coincidence. I think God's an awesome God. He shows up with this Superman shirt on. I put my Superman shirt on. My wife will tell you I haven't had this shirt on in a long time. And this logo, if you can see, kind of has that Superman kind of take with the church in the middle. Because here's what we have going on at our church. We have people from all different walks of life, all different places of town, all different socio-economical, whatever level you want to call them, all different walks of life. People come together for the common good of Christ. And I say all the time that if the world would truly come catch a glimpse of what's happening here at the Hills, they would understand that this communication that we're having tonight, this is how we talk. This is how we get along. This is the conversations that we have. We keep it real. I don't have to be his pastor all the time and whatnot. I can just be me, and he respects me at that, because what you see is what you get. I don't change. And I know that's what Maliq was saying. So before we get off here, I want him to just kind of close us out with one final thought, one final take, one final nugget of advice or whatever. So I'll turn that over to you.
My final take and advice would be, just to change your heart if your heart wasn't already changed. Come together, realize, like I said, that violence is never the answer to anything. You can go back and you can look at anything that you've seen that happened in the past with anybody. Go on the news tonight, watch the news tonight. Something violent might pop up. Go back into the situation and analyze it for yourself. Violence is never the answer. So with me, like I said, I don't feel as though with this whatever is going on with the little racial wars or whatever, but we don't have to unite off of violence. I don't think we have to riot and threaten nobody off of violence. I feel like we have to come together, and like I said, I keep on saying rejoicing together, like being glad that we're even here. Like why are we trying to kill each other over different skin colors? Like, it's been like this for years, I understand, but like I said, that's something that's taught. That's not something that you just up and you was born with it. Like, that's something that's taught. You were taught to hate something that you don't have. It's almost, I mean, just put it like that. Like, why are you hating something that you don't have? Why are you hating something that's different from you? Like, and I mean, that's just my final take on it. Like, stop living in fear. Anybody stop living in fear, because I know it may be some white people that may be living in fear of, I can't really do this or I can't really do that, because if I do that, this black person may say something, do something, whatever, or like, you know. And then on the other hand, like I said, with the black people, with the police, or with whoever, like, stop living in fear. We're not supposed to live in fear according to the word.
Yeah.
And like I said, that's just my take on it. We have to come together. It should be no more violence coming through the city, coming through anywhere, really. It should be no more violence. So, that's just me.
Yeah, we got to do what we can, man, to stop the violence. You know, like I said earlier, there was a shooting just straight this way, you know, couple 300 yards, and then there was another shooting back. You know, so our church is just sandwiched right in between this, and I get people sending me messages, man, your church is right in the middle of the war zone. No, the war zone they're referring to is not. We are in a war zone, and that's the good versus evil. And we know that good ultimately wins. We know that we're winners. We know that Satan may come and try to knock us out, knock us down, but we're not going to stay down. We're going to get up. We're going to help each other up. And like Maliq was saying, you know, violence is never the answer. Praying for people, loving on people, coming together. We may have disagreements, but we agree to disagree, and we keep loving each other, and we keep moving forward. So I'm extremely proud that, you know, Maliq is a part of Western Hills Baptist Church, because our church has never been the same since he and his family have joined and putting their thumbprint, their fingerprint, their footprint, their whatever into the work of this church. And everything that I fought for our church to be is becoming a realization, or has become, because of folks like Maliq, because I hang out with him and he's so positive, he's so encouraging. Yes, he's hurt over some things that have just recently happened, but we can look at that and we can say, you know, God, you forgive, so help us to forgive and help us to encourage each other, help us to edify each other. But if somebody wants to continue going down the wrong path, and all we do is try to encourage them to get on the right path, we cannot pick them up and put them on the right path. We just have to make sure that we stay in tune with the Holy Spirit, that we're in tune with God's best for our life. So I thank my brother for being here with us this evening. And if you ever come to our church, we always meet and greet, and even when we leave, shaking hands. This is what we do. We had to throw the dub. So I'll leave you with throwing the dub, and I also want to leave you with this video. And this is Maliq once again, and his song Misfit.
Yeah. This one for the guys just like me that ain't running to the crowd. No. It's in your blood and in your veins. You ain't running to them clowns. No. You was never in their circle. You was left standing around, and you weren't never trying to hurt them, but they left you when it counted. Even your girl was getting departed because she was used to them people. And while they was in the party, you weren't amused by them people. No. Nobody ain't even told to you. You just had a couple of fake friends, and that just pushed you away until you made a couple of your own trends. But That pain just ate you up, but did it really beat you inside? Yeah, the pain gon' make you up. They can't see it cause they blind. They really think you different. Tell them people I'm one of a kind, very rare species. So all they try to do is analyze me. They wanna jeopardize me. Don't try to memorize me. Man, y'all don't terrify me. Don't need to verify me. You not gon' recognize me. I'm very certified G. God got me specialized G. I don't need to fit in, bruh. I'm very satisfied G. Huh? I'm alone, I'm laid back, a very rare species. Why I'm like this, I don't know, but I don't need the cheat sheet. God created me how he wanted, I ask no questions. Don't need you around, cause that always costs one too many lessons. They left me out of the topics because I wasn't them. I wasn't popping, I'm not a tree, I was the stem. But now they rocking, I guess our space got overwhelmed. You're not invited, you're not like us, we not like them. It's amazing how they treat you when you something special. Real recognized real and you ain't intellectual. We've been building this paint up, call that architectural. And ain't no secrets to it, but we keep it confidential.
All right, well, we out of here. And we always like to say that we're a church, loving God, loving people. Y'all take care.